There were almost 700 Sega Genesis games, and some of them were bound to fall through the cracks. I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I count down the top 10 hidden gems for the Sega Genesis. On this list, we're talking about games here that either I had no idea about, or I had them and no one else seemed to know anything about back in the day. And I put the highest rated one at number 1 and the lowest rated one at number 10, judging by GameFAQs.com. So, if you want to know what games maybe you missed out on, stick around because it starts now!
Second Opinion Games.
Number 10, Ex-Mutants. This is one of those games that, when I sent my mom to get me a birthday present, I asked for an X-Men game, and this is what she came back with. And, my God, was I ever disappointed, until I started playing it and found out it was actually really good. Now, you could pick from 1 to 2 characters. One is a female wearing, well, you know what females wear, with nunchucks, and the other one is a huge dude with an axe. Now, normally I always gravitate towards the female characters, but the guy with the axe just called to me. He's a devastating beast, and he even has projectile weapons, assuming that you pick them up. Now, each of the levels seems really difficult, but once you manage to start playing the game, it plays totally fine. There's batteries you generally have to pick up for some reason before you exit every single level. The boss battles are really fun to play, and you even have a sub-weapon that most of the time is useless, but occasionally it works out for you. Give it a try. Number 9, Crackdown. If you like playing on a little teeny tiny portion of the screen, well, this is your game, and it can also be played with a friend on 2-player mode, and it's kind of like split screen after all. There's a map in the corner showing you where you need to place bombs. There's cutscenes at the end of levels. There's 2 guns that you could hold in each hand and switch back and forth. But what I really love is how you could hug the walls. That's right, just like Solid Snake, only done many years in advance. You could hug those walls and let bullets fly right past you, and then jump out and shoot the little guys in front of you. And it's actually a lot of fun, and extremely satisfying when you clear a level and watch the whole room just blow up. Kind of, sort of. But it is satisfying. Number 8, True Lies. Based on the blockbuster movie, you play as Arnold Schwarzenegger and have to take down evil terrorists. Don't take out any civilians, and some of these guys just have no idea what's going on. After all, if I was in a shootout, I would probably be ducking for cover, but some of these guys just stand there talking on their cell phone, which, honestly, in today's environment, I could entirely believe. And it's one of those over-the-top, shoot-'em-up games. You could even do a Nicolas Cage duck and roll across the screen where you don't take any damage, or just mow everyone down with a freaking Uzi. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a huge damage sponge, so you could take tons of hits, but the game is so much fun, and I like seeing Tom Arnold just give me orders nonstop. And running away from giant helicopters trying to kill you, that's pretty fun too. Number 7, Dinosaur for Hire. If you like Contra, then this is your game. You play as a dinosaur in, like, a Contra freaking game. Only it's not one-hit kills, thank God, because this game would be impossible with them. The boss battles are huge, and after the very first massive one of the game, which is how it freaking starts, by the way, it tells you that there's something wrong with your Genesis's blast processing, which is an absolute nightmare for any kid that grew up in the early 90s. And the massive bosses don't stop there. Take a look at this cyber minotaur on top of this skyscraper. Holy crap! This game is awesome from start to finish, and you're gonna have a great time, especially if you're a huge fan of the Contra games. And there's also multiple characters, but I usually just pick the big guy. Number 6, Burning Force. This is one of those shooters that you just keep going towards the horizon, and there's plenty of power-ups along the way. A wide shot just spreads out and kills everything, or a laser that is just devastating in its own. Now there's no jumping here, unless of course you hit a ramp, and then there's jumping, of course, but you just drive straight forward. However, as you play through the game, there's a day and night cycle, and towards the end of the night, you get to be in a spaceship flying Space Harrier style, usually to make it through a very short mission and then take down an epic boss. Make sure you have all your missiles ready at your disposal because you're gonna need them to take down these juggernauts. This is a really fun game, and honestly, it's great. It must be all that blast processing that Genesis keeps throwing at us. Number 5, High Seas Havoc. Oh, the 90s were full of the mascots, and here is a duck platypus thing, and it is basically a Sonic clone. Now, you could run super fast, or you could take your time and explore and get lots of hidden gems. You also happen to be a pirate. Now, Sonic, when he jumped, he would just attack things like that, but no, you have another button press if you want to actually kill anything, quickly swiping your sword. Now the boss battles here are huge. The game is colorful, and there are tons of secrets around every single corner. Sometimes you just move a little bit too fast for me, but other people should have no trouble playing this one. It's not a one-hit kill death, so don't worry. Explore, run fast, and kill everything, and maybe even make them walk the plank. High Seas Havoc is great on the high seas, but I'll just play it in my living room. Number 4, Atomic Runner. If you don't like auto-scrollers, then stay the heck away from this game, because that's all it is. You're continuously pushing forward, and when you pull back on the stick, well, you don't go back at all. You just stop, because your guy can't run backwards. Well, unless, of course, you change directions, and then he can run backwards, which is actually forwards, but then can't run forwards, which is actually backwards. I hope that's not too confusing for you, because the controls do get a little messed up, but this game is so much fun. The power-ups feel extremely satisfying. Taking down massive bosses is great, and your character is so teeny tiny. It's just so cute. Dodging bullets that are coming after you is sometimes you have to be at the top of your game to basically play this game. And you could even jump on people just like in Mario Brothers. Half platformer, half shooter, and all auto-scroller? Well, you have me sold. Number 3, Wings of War, or whatever the heck they call it in Japan anyway, and you play as a little tiny guy with wings on his back, flying around, shooting down everything in sight. Now, I play this game on easy because on hard, it is just way too difficult. Let's just say I think the bullet hell shooter was probably born right around this time. Picking up power-ups makes you powerful. Getting hit takes away your power. So just when you start feel like you're owning this game, well, everything can change in a brief second. And you know what? I love it. It's just so cool flying around, dodging in and out of the bullets, and just feeling like a total boss. But you know what? There's a little bit of slowdown here, and sometimes it can actually help you. Just like, in modern bullet hell shooters. I wonder if they knew what they were doing when they made this game. Number 2, Cheeky Cheeky Boys. This is the most colorful game on this entire list, and it's an adventure game where there is tons of treasure to be had. Now, you have 2 different brothers to play as. One has a more powerful sword attack, and the other one can carry more magic. Honestly, I don't know which one I like more, so just pick your pleasure. Now, the boss battles are gonna be pretty epic in this game, and it might look really cute and innocent, but it will actually give you a challenge. Also, the Genesis really throws out every trick up its sleeve in this game. There is some really cool 3D effects as you play through it, and tons of different environments. This is just a good, clean, fun Genesis game, and we didn't see it on the Super Nintendo, so, you know, this is the place to play it. Also, that's the Goddess of Earth? Well, I could worship at that altar all day. Number 1. Crusader of the Cente. That's right, this is the Zelda clone that everyone seems to be talking about now, but I just found out about it a couple weeks ago. It has battery backup to save your progress, you have a sword that you got on your 14th birthday, and like any 14-year-old, you're immediately sent out to save the freaking world. Which, yeah, I mean, like, who doesn't do that on their 14th birthday? Honestly, the game plays just as good as a lot of the Zelda games, and I could consider it better than at least 5 Zelda titles, even if 3 of them were on the CDI. It does mix things up quite a bit. Like, this time around, you could throw your sword, and you can pretty much jump at will. So, you have that going on. The adventure is really fun to play, it's bright and colorful, and it's Zelda only on the Genesis. And that is why it is my number 1 pick for best hidden gem for the Sega Genesis. But that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this top 10. I had a great time making it. I don't know why I didn't cover the Sega Genesis earlier. And I have some huge reviews coming up, including, well, I don't want to give it away. But if you have a hidden gem for the Super Nintendo you want me to know about, well, please leave me a comment. Also, let me know how much you liked this list and how many of these games you might actually have. And I cannot wait to hear from you. And until later, I will see you again, guys.